Morning.
Morning.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you guys for showing up, attending, tuning in, whatever you want to say, whatever you want to go with. It's been an interesting time, to say the least. My life is now served on Zoom meetings and live videos. So no handshakes and hugs and fist bumps and things of that nature. But this is kind of exciting. This is fun stuff, and the strong will survive. I was invited to be a guest for a Zoom live meeting, and they were asking, who do you think will make it out of this stronger? And I said, the strong will survive through this. The weak will not. And I'm not talking about health. I'm talking about financially and positively. Those who have their head on their shoulders, those who are staying sane, and those that have reserves to be able to get through this financially, that planned not specifically for this per se, but for something or anything. And those that are staying relevant in their business, staying relevant in sales, staying relevant on social media, staying relevant with their database, their CRM, their primary target market, and their spheres of influence through this, and not shutting down 100% and saying, well, I'm screwed, so I'm just not going to do anything. I'm going to lay on the couch and watch TV shows and eat ice cream all day. So excited to have you guys here, because you guys are the strong that are going to survive and get through this, and you're staying relevant. And this is a perfect topic in terms of staying relevant, because LinkedIn is for serious business professionals and salespeople and executives and business owners alike. And that's what we're going to talk about today, or Brenda's going to talk about today, the 12 strategies to ignite your profile, your account, and to turn it into a lead generation machine. A lot of us don't take LinkedIn serious because it's confusing. We don't get it. It's over our pay grade, whatever term you want to use. But today we should take it serious, and especially now that we have the extra time to build up our LinkedIn. We spend so much time on Facebook, but I look at Facebook as 50% serious and 50% screw off, and LinkedIn is 100% serious. So let's get down to the brass tacks, and let's have some serious talk about LinkedIn. And before we do that, let's go around the room and just kind of real quick say who we are, what we do, and we don't need to go into a big long spiel, because that's not what we're here for at the moment. We're here to learn about the 12 strategies of LinkedIn, but real quick, let's give everyone their due. I will start. Keith Stonehouse, Franklin Title Agency, closing anywhere, anytime, especially in my drive-up, drive-through window at my office and in our office garage. I work directly with real estate agents and mortgage loan officers. That's it, and I'll pass it over to Scott Brown Borden. You got to unmute yourself. Thank you.
Yeah, this isn't my first one there. Thanks, Keith. Good morning, everyone. Scott with Home Team Inspection. We are a team of inspectors in the area, specializing in first-time home buyers and now vacant homes. So if there's anything we can do to help you guys out, feel free to touch base. Being that we are considered essential, we are allowed to leave the house. We are still conducting inspections. So if there's anything we can do to help you guys out in this time, please give me a call.
Awesome. Let's pass it over to Kevin Ott.
Morning, everyone. Kevin Ott with Edward Jones. Likewise, we're essential. Markets are open, so are we, and looking to handle all your. We're still planning on retiring, even though life doesn't seem like we're going to make it that far, but still trying to stick to plans and turn off the news and stick to your strategy. Kevin Ott, Edward Jones.
Matt Verbon. I don't know what you got going on over there. You got to unmute yourself. Little button down there. It's a good conversation we're having, Matt. Unmute yourself. All right.
You know, I probably sounded better on mute, but hey, Matt Verbon Properties, Brookstone Realtors. Right now, obviously, a lot of us realtors are feeling like we can't do much other than try to convince someone to buy a house without being able to walk through it. But I've got a couple things going right now. Hopefully will come to fruition. Got a lot of people holding off from shopping right now, though, because they're worried about their jobs and things like that, which is an unfortunate byproduct of what's going on. Same with the lending restrictions have kind of bumped a couple of my clients out of eligible status because of that with FHA. But I'm ready to learn and get my business grooving for when we get back to this normalness, ishness.
We'll pass it over to Sarah Christian.
Hi, sorry, I had two Zooms going at once. My name is Sarah Christian. My husband Josh and I run our financial services business together. We're in Rochester Hills. Yeah, I'm on here. I've been doing a lot more with social media lately. I think a couple of our agents are on with us as well. I think Danielle and Michelle are both getting on here. And we're definitely need to learn how to use LinkedIn. I just got it set up and I don't really know what I'm doing just yet. And we are considered essential still. So technically our doors are open, but we are running it from home just because we can.
Well, welcome. We hope you get some
for lunches, and that just made me think of, I miss you because we don't have one.
Have you press the mute button, and then we'll have Danielle Drobick come on.
Good morning. My name is Danielle. I am also in the financial services industry with Sarah and Josh out of their office in Rochester. And we are considered essential and really just focusing now on helping serve our clients, still really educating our clients in this time and being a leader for them so that they can continue to understand exactly what's going on and just give them the education that they need during this time. So really want to focus more on social media and really amped up my LinkedIn profile. I've kind of let it go. So I think this is a great opportunity to do so.
Perfect. Welcome. We'll pass it over to our Canadian friend, Mark Blair.
Well, thank you. How are you? How's everybody doing today?
Good.
My name is Mark Blair. I'm with Keller Williams Lakeside in Shelby Township. I manage MI Sold team. And I have a tremendous amount of contacts on LinkedIn. I haven't really tapped into it or used it. I would like to know more about working with it and getting that going.
Welcome. Good to see you, Mark. Jason Shane, take it over.
Hey everybody, I'm Jason. I work at PNC Bank in the mortgage department. I'm a loan officer. We're still doing FHA, jumbo, all this stuff. Also, home equity loans in line. So I always tell people, what's the point of having equity in your home if you can't access it? So I could put an equity line in place to give people accessibility, especially nowadays. And we do have a PNC grant going on where people could potentially get up to $3,000 to cover their closing costs for purchase and refi.
Wow, that's awesome. Thanks for jumping on, Jason. Good to see you. Janelle, you want to chime in?
Yeah, hi everybody. This is Janelle Azar. I own a Meaningful Space and I'm a professional home organizer. I'm based in Shelby Township. And right now I have just been kind of pivoting to the virtual side of business and trying to kind of get involved with that since I'm not able to be in people's homes right now. So I'm really excited about this opportunity. I also have had a LinkedIn page for a little while and now I'm ready to use it. So thank you. Good to meet everybody.
Yeah, good to see you. Bradley Kress, chime on in. Make sure you unmute. There you go. Well, no, you're still not unmuted. You got to unmute the little microphone, red microphone in the bottom corner. Tap your, I don't know if you're using a phone or your, well, we'll let you figure that out. We'll get back to you, Brad. We'll jump over to Nicole Bates. Unmute yourself, Nicole.
Hi there. Sorry, I joined a little bit late, so I'm not hooked up to a computer or anything like that. I'm owner of Nicole Marie Home Designs, and I do have a LinkedIn page. I've had one for probably 10 years, but I just recently opened my business. So I do have that on there, and I did start to do some posts about the business and trying to kind of get some interest going and things like that, but I haven't done much since the COVID-19 has started. So I'm always looking to find more information and learn how to do more things. So I'm kind of excited to hear what she has to say about using the LinkedIn. So thanks for inviting me.
Yep, absolutely. Glad to have you. Bradley, I see you figured out how to unmute yourself. Welcome aboard.
Yeah, thank you. So like Mark, I do have a lot of, so I'm excited about learning about that. And my business is mortgage lending, so we can still do business. Obviously, there's lots of volatility in the market, so sometimes it's a great day to do mortgages, and later that day or the next day it might not be, but we're kind of muddling through it also.
Awesome. Welcome to the group, Brad. And then we'll have Bill. Jump on in, Bill.
Hello.
Hello.
Forgot that this was going on right now. How's everyone doing?
Good.
Good. What are we talking about?
Just who you are, what you do, what you offer, and a little tidbit about your LinkedIn life.
Awesome. Been linked on LinkedIn for a long time. I'm a realtor with Brookstone Realtors. Also operate a marketing media company called RE Photo Pros. Do quite a bit of investing as well with rentals and flips and things like that. So kind of in every aspect. LinkedIn has been an interesting beast, right? Went through a big campaign a few years ago trying to gather a lot of connections and stuff, and racked up a few thousand, but have never really seen any kind of a result from it. So definitely learning how to leverage those connections that are mostly local is important, and I'd love to learn more.
Awesome. I will go off that. The key that I found in LinkedIn, my cat just attacked me. The key on LinkedIn is, to me, is for using it for appointment setting. That's where I found the most success. There's filters. So my clients are real estate agents and mortgage loan officers. So I'll put into the filters to find a local greater Detroit area real estate agent at, let's say, Keller Williams, and it'll pull up all those agents, and I'll say, hey, I'd love to invite you to a Michigan Real Estate Masterminds lunch or happy hour event. But before that, let me buy you a cup of coffee. And 9 times out of 10, they're going to say yes. And that's where I've found my most success, is doing the time blocking to do that. But you have to build up the connections to be able to do that. It sounds like, Bill, you have built up those connections, and Mark, Blair, you have built up those connections. Now it's actually utilizing those connections and meeting with those people in person, which obviously right now isn't real. But you could do a Zoom meeting with them. I digress. We have Chromebook 6286. I don't know who that is. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's a silhouette of a person, Chromebook 62. Oh, was that Danielle? I don't know. That person wants to jump in. There's another person I can see, Kimberly. If you guys want to jump in and say a little something about yourself, go ahead. This is your moment. Go ahead, Chromebook. That's a cool name, by the way. There she is.
I'm assuming that might be. I'm Michelle. I am on a Chromebook, so I'm guessing that's why it came up that way. That's odd. But so I'm right there along with Sarah and Danielle. Michelle Lee, I'm in Michigan, in the financial services realm again. So excited to kind of take the business from that in person to an online type of interaction, and obviously excited about using LinkedIn for that purpose. My background with LinkedIn was I used to use it, quite a bit in the job search arena, right early on in my life. And I honestly don't think I've done anything really with it in the last few years here. So I'm really excited to pivot towards now that business owner role, right, and using it to grow my own business.
Awesome. Kimberly? You're on.
Hello. Can you
We don't hear you.
Oh.
That's
Hello?
okay. Go. No? All right. So I will say, before I pass the torch over to Brenda, I will say that the number one most important thing that I can say about social media and that you need to do is make sure that your contact information and your profession is the most eye-popping thing. You have to be top of mind. You have to be, as soon as they click on your profile, your name, your profession, the company you work for or work with or own, and your contact information should just pop right out at people. I can't say it enough. I refer people every day, all day. And when I go to somebody's profile and I can't find their information, my attention span is that of 7 seconds. It's less than a goldfish. So I will jump to another person's profile in a heartbeat and refer them. And I've done it many, many, many times. So how many times has that happened to you? You don't know. You don't have an answer for that. So I will give a homework assignment to go back after this. Brenda's going to give a lot of homework assignments. I'm just going to give one. And that would be to go to all your profiles on all your social media and update, make sure your contact information is there. Make sure your company name is there. It's linkable, clickable to something that they can go to a website, go to another page, go to another profile for that company. Number and your email is all relevant and all top of mind and all right there. I can't say it enough. So that's a homework assignment to go do that. I'm going to see if anybody chimed in or has joined us before I hand it over to Brenda. Looks like we're filled up here. Brenda, you want to take it over and show us what we're doing wrong on LinkedIn and what we need to do and explode our business?
Hey, I'm here to show you guys what you could be doing differently to be better and more effective. I'm not going to point out anything that people are doing wrong, but I think this is the third or the fourth time we're doing this. So I'm getting more refined on kind of the presentation with this. Brenda Meller, I work for my own company, Meller Marketing, where I help people and businesses unlock the power of LinkedIn. And I had someone the other day say, well, what kind of people do you work with? And it's really any LinkedIn member, anybody who has a LinkedIn account who is really hoping to, and when I say unlock the power of LinkedIn, if that message resonates with you, you're my audience. If you already feel like LinkedIn's working for you, you're probably not on the session here today. Or maybe you are and you're looking to gain some additional insights. And what I want to encourage you guys to do is, my focus today is really on strategies to turn your LinkedIn company page into a lead generation machine. I'm going to pull my Meller Marketing Company page up right now. Having said that, I've found that from the other sessions, there's going to be a little bit of overlap into your personal profiles on LinkedIn as well. And if you do have any questions on things you'd like me to address in today's session, drop them in the chat. I'll periodically look in chat for comments. Right now, as I'm presenting, just to keep us kind of going on time, I'll just ask that everybody keeps themselves on mute, but use that chat if you have any specific questions, either about what I'm presenting on screen or on any additional features that you're wondering about on LinkedIn. Okay, and the other thing I do want to mention is that there is a one-page handout. I'm going to hold it up right now so you can see. It's literally a one-page handout that I am walking through, and I've also messaged you guys in chat. I'm going to drop it in here again in case you joined late and you didn't see the link in here, but it's a one-page handout. I put it on SlideShare so you are at a place that you have access to a printer right now. You can print it and then follow along as we're going. But Keith will also be sending out after the meeting today an email which will include a PDF of this handout. And in addition, I am recording today's session. So what I'll do afterwards is I'll pull this off of Zoom and I will upload this to YouTube as public, and then you can watch the full playback again. Okay, so I say that because if you have the opportunity to do kind of a split screen and keep LinkedIn in one side of your screen open and then follow along with me on the other side, great. If not, just watch me present today, and then later on today you can go back in, have LinkedIn open, and then you can start to go through some of the strategies here, okay? All right, so let's get started. So the very first thing I want to talk about is, let's make sure that if you work for a company, that you are properly linked to your company page on LinkedIn. And I'm going to go to my own profile here just for a second to show you this technique. If I am properly linked to my company page on LinkedIn, I can see that the logo for Meller Marketing appears at the top of my profile here on LinkedIn. When I scroll down to my experience section, I'm also going to see my logo appears next to my company name. Now, if I didn't have it properly linked, it would show a gray building avatar here. And that's kind of like a psychological thing happens when we see a gray building avatar where our company logo should be. And it immediately puts a question mark on our brain. do they really work for this company? Is this a legitimate operation? Are they working out of their basement? Are they making this up? And it's a split-second thing that happens here, but if I see a logo, it makes me think, oh yeah, she definitely works for a company. And even if you're self-employed, you should still have a company page. When you have a company page, when you click on that logo, it will take you over to the company page on LinkedIn, okay? So that's my very first tip. If you do not yet have a company page, set one up. The process to set one up, it's super, super easy. All you need to do is click on the work icon, and I'm going to reduce this down. Go to the bottom of this menu and you'll see a link that says create a company page. Super easy. You click on whatever type of business it is. I'm just going to put sample company in here as an example. You see LinkedIn creates the URL, and then you put your website in here if you have a website, your industry. There's a couple fields that are required here. There's a link here to upload your logo, and LinkedIn recommends it's like a square 300 by 300 pixel size version of that logo. And that's kind of it. You know, if you have a tagline, you can throw that in there, and then you click I verify that I'm an authorized representative. So even if you're self-employed, you can set this up. If you work for a company and your company does not have a company page yet, you guys need to set this up because it does create some legitimacy for your company page. And the other thing is it creates new opportunities for you and for your business. The analogy I like to use with regards to LinkedIn is when we connect with people on LinkedIn, when we connect with individuals on LinkedIn, it's kind of like we're going to a shopping mall, and we are connecting with people for kind of the same reason we go to the mall. We might just be there kind of networking, hanging out with people. You know, we might be going there for shopping. We might, you know, get together with people and meet with them there. Eventually, we might thinking about doing some shopping with those businesses. But really, it's more for networking is kind of why we're connecting with people initially. Over time, those might develop into opportunities. Your company page, in comparison, is kind of like when you go to a shopping mall and you walk into a store. Now you're in a mindset that you're open and receptive to what that store has to sell. You might be interested in purchasing their products or services. If someone comes up to you and says, welcome to Bath and Body Works, would you like a basket to help you with shopping? You're receptive to that because you walked into their place of business. So the really cool thing about company pages on LinkedIn is that you can, when you visit a company page, you can choose to follow it by clicking on the follow button. And I would encourage you guys, if you're not already doing so, go to the Meller Marketing company page on LinkedIn and follow it, because I'm always giving free LinkedIn strategy tips and giving you insights into how to use LinkedIn. And when you click on follow, that's the equivalent of you raising your hand saying, yes, I am interested in learning more about your business. Okay, so we want to make sure that our page is set up. We have an opportunity for them to click to follow our company page, and that's going to kill that gray building avatar that appears in your personal profile on LinkedIn. Okay, so that's the very first thing. Definitely follow the steps through and getting the whole page set up. You can add this really nice header image in the background. You can add a description in there. I'm going to go to my member view just for a second here to show you what people see. In my about section, I can fill out a couple paragraphs describing my company, my products and services, my contact information. And Keith, I know you're a big advocate of this. If you want people to do business with you, make sure that you're giving them your contact information several times, several places. Don't make it hard for them to find that information, okay? So this is strategy number one for your company page. You need to claim it and get it set up, okay? The very next thing is let's make sure that our pages are active. And one common mistake I see, I'm not sure whose profile it was. I'm just going to poke around here for a second and see if I can find the profile again. But you have a company page, but when I visited the page, I didn't see any postings on it. That one's all set. I'm just going to click through here, guys. So Nicole, when I click to your profile, yours would be one where it doesn't look like you have a company page set up yet. If I go to your gray avatar and I click on that, LinkedIn doesn't know where to send me. So there's some missed opportunity there. So definitely get that set up. Does anyone have a company page on LinkedIn where you haven't done a posting yet? Do you mind if I pull you up on screen right now? So let's see, I'm going to navigate through here. I had one up and then I navigated out of it. So I want to try to come back to it just for a second here. Go back to my LinkedIn homepage and I'm just clicking through. Was it Bradley? I don't remember who it was. I clicked on and then I went to the page. No, Bradley, you've been posting. You've been doing a good job. Janelle, how about you? Meaningful Space. Nope, you're doing some postings on here. All right, so I'm having a little bit of a hard time finding this one right now, and I'm trying to remember if there's a recent client who maybe didn't have one. But if I go to your company page, I'm expecting that I'm going to see some postings there. So in your company page, I'm going to go back to my admin view right now. In your company page on LinkedIn, you have the ability right here where it says start a post. So if you happen to go to your company page and there are no posts on the page, you need to post today. And the post can be something as simple as this, and I'm actually going to show you this on screen. Welcome to the official LinkedIn company page for, and you would put your company name in here, Meller Marketing, and then follow this page for news and events, including LinkedIn strategies. So I'm telling people what I want them to do. So this is kind of the equivalent of if I walk into a store, a Bath and Body Works employee walking up to me saying, welcome to Bath and Body Works, would you like a gift, a basket to help you shop today? If you send people to a company page and there's no content out on that page, you're losing an opportunity. You're losing the opportunity, first of all, for them to follow the page. They may not follow it because there's no content that's being put out on there. And the second thing is, if you don't tell them why to follow the company page, if there's no postings on there, they might say, well, I'm not going to bother. You know, I'm not going to bother to do that. So here I'm telling you, welcome. I'm saying follow this page for, and I'm putting in news and events, including LinkedIn strategies. That's what I'm selling. So think about, what are you selling? Put that in a post on your company page. You know, follow my page for tips about maximizing your home value in today's real estate market, whatever it is. Tell people what they get. And then I would recommend, to build on tip number 2, getting active, that you're posting 2 to 3 times per week on your company page. If your posts are not getting any engagement, I'm going to recommend you take a 3-2-1 approach. Okay. So this is in the handout. For every 6 posts you do on your company page, 3 of them should be content that you're sharing from other people. This could be industry experts. It could be industry publications. It could be others in your network. It could be people who maybe are referral or lead sources for you. You can share their content out, but it should be you're sharing expertise from other people. Okay, so that's 3 pieces. 2 should be posts that are creating pride amongst your employees. Now, in this day and age, it might be, hey, here are a couple of our employees working from home. It also might be, join us in celebrating Sheila, who's celebrating 10-year anniversary at our company. It could be Meet the Team Monday, where you're showcasing individuals who are on LinkedIn and tagging their profiles. So whatever they are, 2 of those posts should be creating pride amongst your employees, okay? And out of every 6 posts, 1 of them should be a selling message. So for me, that might be and I'm going to show you it as an example here. I did one of these recently on my LinkedIn. So I went in here and I said, we are still open for business and we've shifted all LinkedIn strategy coaching online. Need help networking and growing your business using LinkedIn? I'd love to help you, and I have some links. Now that's a sales message. You would expect to see that on a company page, but let's not forget to periodically include a sales message, but also every message should not be a sales message, because then people are going to tune you out. The cool thing about posting on a company page is you can start to identify who those people are, which is tip number 3, monitoring and responding. And I want to show you this. If you scroll up to the top of your company page, you're going to notice that you can see how many people are following. And remember, a follower is like a hand raiser. Those are people that have said, hey, I want more information about Meller Marketing. I don't know who those 2,249 people are. My guess is some of them are my current clients. Some of them might be my competitors. Some of them might be vendors or people I do business with. Others might just be network connections who support me and my business. And then there's probably another pool of people who are prospective future customers for Meller Marketing, okay? I can't identify who those people are until they start interacting with my posts. So let's talk about tip number 3, monitor and responding. So when you are posting on LinkedIn, you are essentially acting like a fisherman who's throwing a net out into the sea, and you need to monitor your posts and pull that net in and see what you've caught, okay? So what I would recommend is you scroll through your posts and start to see who is liking your posts, okay? And as I look at who's liking my posts, I'm gonna look and see, okay, Robert's already a 1st level connection, Mike's a 1st level, Margie's a 2nd level connection. I haven't connected with Margie yet, okay? So here's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna click to go to Margie's profile, And I think some of you probably saw I was doing this personalized note inviting you to connect while you were entering today's session. So here's what I do. I'm not selling to Margie in my invitation to connect. I am also always including a personalized note. I'm going to click on the connect button. I'm going to click on add a note, okay? And what I want to do here, and actually I want to look at Margie's profile just for a second here, because I want to find one or two things that we have in common or that are interesting to me about her profile. I already see that we share several common connections, including Tom Daniels, and Tom knows me well. So that might be what I mentioned. It looks like she's focused on organization and training. So I'm going to say, hi, Margie. And then right away, I'm going to say if we've met or not. If we haven't met, I'm going to let her know that. We haven't met yet, but. I do that because I want to take the pressure off of Margie where she, you know, if I don't include a personalized note and I don't give them any reference, Margie's kind of like, who's this Brenda character? Why do I want to connect with her or not? And she's making a split decision about whether she accepts my invitation or not. When I tell Margie, hi, Margie, we haven't met yet, but, okay, right away Margie's going, oh, okay, we haven't met. Now what am I going to say next? But we share several common connections, including, and I'm going to mention somebody that I know if Margie reached out to, Tom would say nice things about me. So I'm going to say Tom Daniels. We also share an interest in professional development. And I can see that based on her job titles and keywords. And then the ask, let's connect on LinkedIn. I am not saying visit my website. I am not saying here's a Calendly link, let's set up a virtual coffee. I'm not saying here's a video I made for you. I'm not saying here's a sell sheet about why your LinkedIn profile sucks and how I can help you. I'm not doing any of those things. This is not about me. This is about Margie. And you'll guarantee you will get a higher invitation acceptance rate if you use this approach, making it all about them. So I'm going to send that off to Margie, okay? And I would do this now with every single person who likes my post that I am not yet connected with, okay? So this is monitoring and responding. The second half of this is responding, okay? So if people leave a comment on your company page post, this is a potential lead generation visibility opportunity for you and to make a greater connection with this person. It's kind of like when somebody leaves a comment, it's kind of like when my 8-year-old daughter walks in the room and she brings up a beautiful piece of artwork and she says, Mommy, look what I made for you, okay? I want to respond back to my daughter and I want to say, wow, Charlotte, thank you. That's beautiful. Thanks for making, is that a unicorn? What is that? And then Charlotte feels good. Charlotte wants to do more artwork for me. In comparison, if Charlotte came in the room and gave me a piece of artwork and I took it and threw it down and said, Mommy's on a call, go away, she's not going to feel a little too good. Or if I ignored her entirely and I waved her and I'm gesturing that I'm on the phone, she's not going to want to do more artwork for me. So I want to acknowledge people that are replying to my posts. So I am going to like Ada's comment here, and I'm also going to reply back and just 5 or more words. This is really key, 5 or more words. Happy to hear, thanks for sharing. And I'm just commenting back something that builds onto that conversation. An additional technique that you might try is asking people a question. And I might say, what is one key takeaway you learned from the summit? And this helps to keep the conversation going back and forth a little bit. I'm also helping Ada to sell me. When she's saying, wow, I found this article helpful, or it's great doing business with you, I'm saying, what did you learn from me? And then she's replying back and I'm keeping the conversation going. Okay, so step 3 is monitor and respond. Step number 4 is grow followers. And there's a cool way of doing this. If you guys are an admin in your company page on LinkedIn, and I'm curious, how many of you are an admin in your company page? Can you message me in chat and say, yes, I am an admin? So if you're in your company page, you would know that you're an admin if at the top of your page, when you're looking at your company page, next to your company name, it says admin view, okay? So if you are an admin of your own company page, say, yes, I'm an admin. I'm kind of curious how many people in here have admin privileges. When we were on the session, I think it was Tuesday of this week, there was a couple people who were employees of a company, and this part, they're like, went over my head because I can't see the admin view. But if you are an admin, it looks like there's a few of you that are an admin of your company page. So in the admin view, what you would do is under admin tools, this is really awesome. I'm going to click on admin tools and I see the drop down, and LinkedIn gave us this feature and then they took it away and they gave it to us and they took it away. Right now I have it. So you may have it. If you do, I highly suggest that you use it. Underneath reach, you would see a link that's called invite connections. And now what this will do is now you can invite people that you are connected with, you personally are connected with on LinkedIn, to follow your company page if they are not yet following your company page. So I'm just gonna, for example, I'm gonna go through here and I'm gonna see, is Keith Stonehouse following my page yet? No, he is not. So now I'm gonna send Keith an invitation to follow me. And let's see, who else is on the session here today? I'm gonna send you guys a couple more invites here just as an example. So Matt V, Scott Brown. Let's see, Scott. So now I'm gonna send Scott an invite. So the same thing, I can kind of think about who has a high likelihood of following my company page. I'm not gonna spam everybody in my network, but I'm gonna think about who has a high likelihood of following my company page. I figured out that right now I can send 25 of these a day. So I send 25 a day. I'm gonna keep doing this until LinkedIn slaps my hand and takes that away from me. But I'm gonna send invitations to follow my company page to these people. Now, when I click on invite, Keith and Scott, you guys are gonna both get a notification, and I believe it comes under my network, and it's going to say Brenda Meller invited you to follow Meller Marketing on LinkedIn. And if you guys wanna practice this with me, I'll follow your company pages too. So go into your invite connections, invite me to follow your company page, and I will follow you guys back, okay? So this is a really cool technique to invite people to follow your company page. Now, let's say you work for a company and you're not an admin of the page, but you wanna help the company to grow the page followers. Then what I would do if I were you is I would go to your LinkedIn homepage, and hey, if you guys haven't posted yet on LinkedIn, you can actually do this right now if you want, feel free. So what I would do is I would click on start a post, and I would say, please give my company page a follow here on LinkedIn. And then I might tag my company page, and I do that by doing the @ symbol. And then I start typing my company name out. My key, if you're not seeing it in the drop down, is I do a dash between the first word and the second word. So I do Meller dash marketing until I see my page come up. And then I'm gonna say why, or to learn LinkedIn strategy tips, as well as to learn about my upcoming events, okay? And if I were you, and if you guys are posting this today, you could say thank you to, and you might tag me in your post, Brenda Meller, for suggesting this tip on today's MREM webinar. And then you might also say kudos to Keith Stonehouse for booking Brenda. She is amazing. And you can use any adjective: phenomenal, enlightening, energetic, funny, you know, anything you want there, but use an adjective there too. So this is just an example of something that you could post. And what I'm doing here is I'm encouraging people to follow my company page in my personal profile. I'm doing a post on that. Now, I already posted once today. I'm not gonna post this message now, but this will be in the video playback. So if you wanna watch this again later, post this later on today or tomorrow, you'll be able to see that tip, okay? So what do you guys think so far? Is this stuff making sense to you? Send me a message in chat and say, yes, this is making sense. No, you're crazy. I knew everything already that you're talking about. Just give me a quick message. I want to make sure you guys are still paying attention. Everybody can hear me. All right, awesome. Cool. Thank you, Danielle. Danielle's the only person paying attention and chatting. Oh, there we go. Mark is saying good tip so far. All right, we're going to keep going here, guys. And if you do have any additional questions as I'm going, feel free to drop them in chat. Okay, so we covered the first 3 tips, actually the first 4 tips, grow followers. And tip number 5 is just building upon this technique of checking your nets. And this technique, again, thinking about the fisherman throwing his net out to the sea and then pulling in to see what he's caught. We're trying to catch leads, you know, is what we're trying to do on our company page. Now, if you're an admin, you'll be able to see this next session here. So what I would do is go to your company analytics here in LinkedIn. Actually, it's under the activity tab here. And you'll see along the left-hand side, social notifications. And LinkedIn kind of breaks out these notifications just for your company page. The unfortunate part is it doesn't put it up in your home page. You got to go into the company page and see them. But what I do like is they kind of sort them. So they're saying since the last time I came into my page, I got 3 new reactions on my posts. The most recent shares would be shown here as well. Any new comments would be shown in here. And anytime someone has mentioned my company page, it would be shown here as well. So Same activity I showed you guys earlier. Anybody who has reacted to my page, which is, you know, liked, loved, applauded, all those good things, I want to make sure that I am looking through that list, and anybody I'm not already connected with who might be a second level or beyond, I'm going to send them an invitation to connect. I'm not going to mention, hey, I saw you liked my company page update, because that's kind of like creepy and stalkerish and going through the trash. No, I don't want to do that. I make the invitation all about them. Okay. So I'm going to look first at reactions. Then I'm going to look at shares. And shares is, I mean, this is pretty substantial. Not only did they see my post and like it and comment it, but they actually said, wow, this is valuable enough. I want to click to share it out to my network. So I'm actually going to click on the link that says, Allison shared my company's update. And I'm going to now go into Allison's feed where I can see she shared this out. And I'm going to take a second, just like, you know, I did with the earlier post. I'm going to like it, and I'm going to leave a comment. I'm going to say, thank you for sharing this along. Now, if I wanted to take another step further, I could also tag my own name in there. And that way it shows Allison that I am responding on behalf of the company page, but it's putting my name into her homepage feed, which increases my visibility as well. Okay, isn't that cool? So an additional technique there, sharing your update. I'm going to do this with every single time somebody shares something out from my company page. They see that as valuable. I'm recognizing that they are doing this, which is encouraging more of that future behavior. Just like my daughter with the artwork, you know, by saying thank you for sharing this along, 5 words, super easy. And then I could put my name in there if I wanted to. I am encouraging more of this behavior. I'm encouraging that positive behavior for happening. So this is the technique, you know, technique number 5, checking your nets. Same thing with the comments. You know, every comment gets a comment back from me. You know, even if they say great article, I will reply back. I posted something a little bit earlier, and I did an extensive response, and you guys have to check this out if you haven't checked this out. So someone had a negative comment on a post, and they reached out to me, and I gave them a suggestion, and one of which was you can remove the comment, and then you can also block the person so that you're no longer seeing them. And I added a comment below, and I said, here are the people that I block. And my last one was people named John. And I said, just kidding. Wanted to see who's still reading. And Monica replied back to that. So I'm just having a little bit of fun and banter within my chain there. So this technique, again, is checking your nets. And technique number 6 is mention yourself to extend reach. So think about, you have your personal profile on LinkedIn, you have your company page on LinkedIn. Both of these provide an opportunity for business development and lead generation opportunities. What I do is periodically when I'm posting on my personal timeline on LinkedIn, I am tagging my company page. Let me see if I did this in my earlier post today. I don't think I did. So in my earlier post today, I had a meeting with the Troy Inforum group, and we did a virtual Zoom session. And I took a picture and I tagged a lot of people in the post this morning. Occasionally, what I do when I post on my personal page is I will tag my company as well. Looks like LinkedIn is going a little bit slow right now. So it's not letting me pull this up. Okay, let's see here. So I don't think I did this in the earlier post. Let me see if I can find another post where I did this technique. This was a LinkedIn Live. So this is a strategy tip here. So sometimes in my strategy tips, I will post and I will tag my company. So this is a post I did from Brenda Meller from my personal account, and I tagged my company in there, okay? On the flip side of that, sometimes I will post from my company page and I will tag myself. And you can see I do that at the bottom, almost like I wrote the message, it's from me. And this technique is going to encourage profile views for your own personal profile, and it's going to encourage people to visit your company page as well, okay? So mention yourself, and you can do that both ways, from your timeline, from your company page, okay? The next technique, I wanna ask the question, how many people on today's session are using hashtags on LinkedIn? In comments right now, in the chat right now, say, yes, I'm using hashtags. No, I'm not using hashtags. Are you guys not seeing my screen right now? Are you seeing my screen? Scott is saying, no, I'm not. Are you not seeing my screen? Because I'm seeing it up on screen. Okay, Danielle says you can see it. Scott, you're saying you're not seeing? Oh, you are seeing the screen. Okay. Scott, you said something earlier. You said, are you planning on sharing your screen? Oh, Bradley said, are you planning on sharing your screen? Bradley, I am sharing my screen, and it seems like you might not be able to see it. But I think everybody else is sharing this, seeing the screen, right? Okay. So people are saying yes, they're seeing it, Bradley. I apologize if you're not. If you are in presenter view, I think you might have to hit escape, and then you can see the full screen. But right now you should be seeing LinkedIn showing on screen, and it's the Meller marketing page that I'm seeing on there. If someone could help him out, who was that again? That was Bradley. Someone can help Bradley, maybe message him and help him troubleshoot that. I'm going to keep going here. Okay, so hashtags. Some people saying yes. Keith is saying every time. Keith, I'm going to use you as an example here. Some people are saying no. What I will say, guys, is on the whole, people, when I talk to people, especially when I'm training clients on LinkedIn, the most common question I get is, what's a hashtag? So I just don't think that LinkedIn is the heavy user base of hashtags. Other networks, Instagram, Twitter, you know, Facebook to some extent, they're using hashtags. LinkedIn is just not a heavy user base of it. But what I will say, this is kind of like a 201 or a 301. If you're using hashtags on LinkedIn, there are some techniques that can help you to be more successful on using hashtags. And I would recommend you use them on your company page because it extends your reach there. I'm going to use Keith's profile as an example to see how he is using hashtags in his personal posts. So here's one thing to think about. LinkedIn recommends, if you do use hashtags, LinkedIn is saying this, they recommend no more than 3 hashtags. Many people from LinkedIn have said this. So what this means is somewhere in LinkedIn land, there's an algorithm playbook that determines what is the maximum number according to the magical formula to use in a post, and they've determined it's 3, okay? So that means anybody who's using more than 3, you're probably not getting as much reach on your post. You're probably being penalized. Anybody who's not using 3, you're leaving some opportunities for reach on the table. So what I would recommend is that when you're using hashtags on LinkedIn, you use a maximum of 3 hashtags. Okay, so Keith, I'm not seeing, you say you're using them all the time, Keith. I did see your latest post where you use hashtag Michigan real estate. So I'll use this one as an example. When I click on the hashtag, I can see other people who are talking about that hashtag in the homepage feed, okay? And these aren't people I'm connected with. These are a combination of anybody who's on LinkedIn who's using that hashtag. I can see that this is what I would consider a narrow hashtag. It has 57 followers, but it's a very niche. If I'm targeting people in Michigan real estate, I'm okay if it's not reaching a lot of people. But let's say in comparison, I wanted to use a more broad hashtag, one that's reaching more people. I might say real estate, and then I'm going to go in the search bar and click on search. And I'm going to see that real estate has 4.167 million followers, okay? So an example for you using a hashtag on your company page posts on LinkedIn, I'm going to go to my company page post and show you this right now, would be thinking about a combination of narrow and broad hashtags. Narrow might be, and I created a hashtag, I call it social media pie. I love pie. Anytime I present in person, I give a pie away. I'm writing a book called Social Media Pie, which is about LinkedIn strategy tips. So it's a very narrow hashtag. Not a lot of people are using it. When I click on that hashtag, I can see there only are 10 followers. That's okay, because it really helps to kind of keep all of people that are talking about this hashtag relevant. So if you talk about me on LinkedIn, use Social Media Pie, and I will reply back to you, okay? An example of a broad hashtag in this instance would be job search. So if I click on job search, I can see that there are 956,000 people using the hashtag. When I use hashtags, I use 3, and I will use 2 broad, which are really large industry hashtags related to that post, and 1 that's narrow, okay? So that's a technique. You can use 3, and the cool thing here too is in your company page on LinkedIn, you can actually set, let me go into my admin settings here for a second. You can actually set up to 3 hashtags that your company page is following, and you can click to that hashtag, and then you can go, and anybody who is talking about that hashtag, you can now reply as the company page and say, thanks, thank you for the mention, something like that. So again, oh, look at that. Somebody's drawn on the screen. Is that Keith? It's probably Keith in the background. So now we can see, you know, here that when we're using a hashtag on our company page, we can reply to a post, even if the person's not following our company page, even if we're not connected to that person on LinkedIn. Okay? Is this making sense? This is kind of an advanced user hashtag thing. So if you're using hashtag, hopefully this gives you some additional techniques. If you're not using hashtags, you don't know what they are, just ignore, get a refill on your coffee or something right now. So Bill says, I use some hashtags. All my connections are on a personal page. What's the best way to move those connections to the business page? So I would say start mentioning maybe once a week your company page and invite them to follow your company page for tips about X, Y, and Z. So explain that, okay? So Bradley is saying, I use hashtags. I see your screen now. Keith is saying, yo mama, because he's mature, right? If you wanted to edit your community hashtags that appear on your company page, you have to be an admin. And there's two ways you can get to it. I'm going to take you back to your company page here. And I'm going to click on the pencil icon that's kind of in my admin area. And I can see under community, it says hashtags. LinkedIn only allows you to use 3. So again, they're using this magical number of 3. And I can take out a hashtag and I can add in different hashtags too. Okay, so hopefully that is helping you guys out. A little bit of advanced techniques there on hashtags. All right, so that was tip number 7. How are we doing so far? A lot of information, right? Hopefully this is a little bit of a crash course for you guys. And again, here we're talking about techniques to help, with strategies on turning your company page into a lead generation machine. The next thing is tip number 8, which is measuring your progress over time. And I'm a big believer we have to kind of benchmark ourselves against ourselves and try to figure out, are we making progress? And then also let's benchmark ourselves against others in our industry, because that helps us to understand, how we can use LinkedIn more effectively, and are we making progress on this? Okay. So let's now look at measuring progress. And there's some tools that are actually within your company page analytics. And I actually, when I work with my clients, I create a dashboard. Every month I give them a dashboard. I'm like, here's how you're doing on LinkedIn. I will document how many followers they had. And I'll also show them, in the last 30 days, we've gained 138 new followers. We've increased it by 3%. Show that information as well. Keith, are you having fun in the background? I'm guessing this is you, because I don't think the average person can draw right now. Can you? I think it's only Keith. Hey, if it's you, write your name on screen in the red pen right now. We'll have a little bit of fun with this. I think that's just Keith, though, that's doing that. So I will create a dashboard using analytics. And I'm going to walk you through some of these analytics right now to help you to understand how to use these. We're going to pause for a commercial break right now. So I got to figure out how to do that. Is it annotate? It probably is under annotate. And then I think it's only Keith who can do this because I made you a host, right? So I'm learning Zoom a little bit more every day I'm in here. All right, so if you are a company page admin, if you have not checked this area out, check this out. Go under analytics, and they give you analytics for 3 different categories. The first is called visitors. So if you click on visitors, you're gonna see there's a kind of like a trend line in here. And what I would recommend is change it from the default, which is the last 15 days, maybe change it to 30 days. And then you can start to see some patterns emerging here in terms of page views. And I might even back it up to 12 weeks. Okay, so now I can see how many times my company page has been viewed on LinkedIn in the past 12 weeks. And I can start to see some spikes that are happening here. And I might look back and think, what did I post during that time frame that was driving company page views, okay? And you can also look at who is visiting your page. For me, my ideal target audience is somebody who is working in business development, marketing, sales, maybe company leadership, who is really looking to unlock the power of LinkedIn for business development and lead generation. So when I look at the job functions of people that are viewing my page, it should match that. And I am saying that's really who I'm targeting there. You can also go into this drop down and you can start to toggle through. Now, I mainly target people in Metro Detroit. I do work with clients across the US, but mainly Metro Detroit. I can see that most of my page visitors are coming from Metro Detroit. And you can also start to look through and see seniority level. And I'm definitely targeting people who are kind of like a director level and up. And my visitor demographics are matching that. If there are certain industries that you're targeting, you can look at that as well. And for me, I don't necessarily target an industry, but I might say, well, gosh, maybe I should target more people in management consulting and marketing and advertising, because it looks like a lot of my page visitors are coming from there. And then finally, I can look at company size, and I can start to have an understanding of, well, it's not the large enterprise organizations that are working with me because they probably have a person in-house doing it. It's more the small to mid-sized businesses and even the entrepreneurs and consultants that are visiting my page. Okay, so this is helping me to understand who I am reaching on my company page in terms of who is viewing my page. Okay, so that is page visitors. The second area is called updates. Now, same thing here. I'm going to change the time range, and maybe I change this one to 30 days. And I can start to see every time I see a spike, that's probably a new post I put on my company page. What this represents, it's called impressions. Okay. And what this means is it's kind of like the equivalent of when you drive by a billboard on the side of I-75. When you pass by a billboard, that's considered an impression. So whether or not you read the billboard or not, you had the opportunity to see it, okay? So anybody who is following my page, who I've tagged in a post, you know, it's been served up to them and they had the opportunity to view it. And I can start to see some patterns emerging there of when I'm creating impressions. The cool thing here too, guys, if you scroll down underneath the chart, you can see that now it's showing you post by post. When I posted on LinkedIn, how many impressions that post generated. Now this one was just from this morning, only 12 so far. Earlier this morning, I posted one and it was a featured Q&A. I'd already got 233 impressions, 3 clicks. And then the click-through rate, CTR, if you hover over that, it kind of describes this, is that this is clicks divided by impressions. So I'm trying to look for posts that are generating a lot of impressions because more people viewing my post means more lead opportunities, right? And then I'm also looking for actions that people are taking. If I'm sending them to a link or asking them to comment below, that's a click, okay? So higher click-through rate is good. So I can see here 6.25 is higher than the 1.29, so that post did really well, okay? And there's other analytics in here too, but kind of pay attention to these things because it'll help you to understand what types of posts are working and which posts are falling flat in there, okay? So this is, again, under analytics, this is updates. The third one under analytics is called followers. And this is showing, you know, followers, and this is actually, if you look at the chart here, it's new followers. I think this chart is a little bit misleading. I would prefer that they show this instead of a line graph, which seems to show cumulative total. I would prefer they show it as a bar graph because then it would make me understand, oh, those are just new followers I gained. So over time, you can see here that I had a spike in followers here, another spike there, another spike there. I didn't get any new followers on February 22nd. Lately, I'm starting to send out 25 invitations a day, so I'm starting to regularly grow my page at a higher pace. So this is one chart that's valuable because you can see over time you're gaining new followers, okay? The other thing is scroll down because this is the cool part in here. You can see at the bottom, it says companies to track. And LinkedIn puts this together for you. This is kind of the competitive and industry comparison part of it. So it's going to start to put together a list of companies that look like you, sound similar to you, have similar keywords or names as part of it. Meller Marketing and Social Media Pie, they've kind of said, oh, you might be the same company, so they're putting me together. They're also comparing me to LinkedIn, which is very interesting. And then there's a couple other pages that have Meller as a part of the name, LinkedIn Master, so those are some competitors of mine as well. And now I can start to see over time, this is showing me for the last 30 days, how many followers I have total as of today, how many new followers I've gained in the past 30 days compared to some of my competitors, how many times I've posted, and what is my total engagement rate. So I can see here that I am performing better at an engagement rate level than LinkedIn. I'm feeling pretty good about myself right now. I can also see, comparatively speaking, I'm posting 22 times in the past month. LinkedIn posted 39, so just a little bit more than me. So I'm posting on pace with what the industry is posting. So that's not too many updates by any means. And I can start to look at some of my other competitors. Beth, she runs a social media company that does LinkedIn training. She's out of Buffalo, New York. And I can see that in the past month, she only posted once and she only generated a 2.46 engagement rate, okay? So this is good information to put in your dashboard, start to compare yourself against your competitors in the industry and help you to measure progress as you're working on building leads for your page. Okay, this is only something you can see if you're an admin of your company page, but I think a pretty cool tool to look at. While we're on this, tip number 9 rather is research your competitors. And I would have you guys, you know, look at, if you have this admin access, look at your competitors' pages on LinkedIn. And remember earlier how I told you you can look on your own company page posts and you can see who's liked it and who's commented on it. Well, guess what? We can do that on our competitors' posts as well. So Beth is a friend. I would not try to steal business from her, but I certainly could connect with people who are liking her posts. Maybe Kate knows somebody in Michigan and she refers business to me. And then while you're on the page too, poke around their about section. look and see how do they describe themselves. And, oh, I see here Beth is listing her programs, her courses. Oh gosh, that gives me an idea. Maybe I should do that on my company page too. She's listing her phone number, her email. Oh, I should think about doing that on my company page too. Okay, so I'm gathering some competitive intelligence that can help me to build out my own company page. Okay, I'm going to stop for a second and look at chat in here. Bradley is asking a question about Sales Navigator. Bradley, I recently upgraded to Sales Navigator. The main focus of today's conversation here on LinkedIn is on your company page. I am a very heavy user of LinkedIn. I have a vast amount of experience using LinkedIn Premium. I'm not yet at the point that I can do training on Sales Navigator. If you do have some specific questions, do let me know, and I will definitely share some insights with you. I'm not focusing on Sales Navigator. Maybe in a future session, I'll come back if Keith wants to invite me back, maybe in 6 months or so, and then I can do a training there. I'm already realizing some different features from Premium that are very helpful, but no, I won't be addressing Sales Navigator today. Okay. Any other questions coming in so far? If you guys have any, just drop them in here. Is this still making sense? Let me know and say, yes, this is helpful. Yes, this makes sense. Okay. And yes, helpful. Thank you, Danielle. I appreciate that. All right, so tip number 11, we're talking about lead generation, growing your business and your company page on LinkedIn, but I think part of this is growing your team. And if you are looking to hire people to work for you, you can certainly go into LinkedIn Jobs, which is in the top navigation. And when you click on jobs, you actually have to pay to place a job in there. And that's definitely the top place you want to go to place jobs. But beyond that, I would also have you think about, you could post a job as just a post on LinkedIn, and you don't have to pay for this. So anybody who's following your page, some of those people might be people that want to work for you. And some people might be people that can refer employees to work for you that can help you to generate leads for your business, right? So you could create a post on your company page on LinkedIn, and you could just say, Meller Marketing is now hiring for a new salesperson. And I'm not going to post this, just to give you an example. Contact me at, and I might tag myself, if you are interested. Or, I might say, go to mellermarketing.com/jobs to apply. So I don't have to pay to do this. I am just reaching people who are following my company page on LinkedIn. Okay. So think about recruiting team members to support your lead generation efforts. And you can do that just by posting on your LinkedIn company page. Okay. Tip number 12 is a strategy tip that involves LinkedIn advertising. And I do have to say here, guys, I don't work for LinkedIn. I work for myself. I don't make money on referring people to LinkedIn, nor do I make money on telling people you should upgrade to Premium, you should upgrade to Sales Navigator, or you should pay to advertise on LinkedIn. I don't like seeing people waste money, so I would normally tell people, don't pay to do LinkedIn advertising, even if you're doing it for lead generation, business development. Don't pay to advertise on LinkedIn unless you have a fully optimized personal profile on LinkedIn. If you don't know what that means, I can help you with that. Unless you have a company page that is active on LinkedIn and you're monitoring for and responding to all of those comments and you're watching your page followers. And unless you are personalizing every invitation that you send, you're also screening in invitations from people that you don't know. And unless you are also engaging regularly on your homepage feed, okay? What I mean by that is LinkedIn is a communication channel. It is a business communication channel. And it's kind of like when people come into LinkedIn, it's kind of like they're picking up their Cranes Detroit Business or Wall Street Journal. They are in a business mindset. They are open and receptive to those business and industry articles, news, information, insights, teachings, whatever, okay? So when I go into LinkedIn, I'm in that business mindset. I'm scrolling through my homepage feed. And for you guys, what I would recommend is think about going into your homepage feed once a day for 15 minutes. If you see posts that are resonating with you, like it. And if they're particularly interesting, I might add a comment. And I'm going to add a comment of 5 or more words. Totally agree with this. Gotta do what you gotta do. And this is a funny post he just said about, if your kids are watching TV during the pandemic, put it on mute and put subtitles. Now they're reading, So I'm just going to put a 5 or more word comment on there. And this is helping to build up social media karma, kind of paying it forward. When I do this more and more often, what happens is my name now appears in the homepage feed under this person's post. I'm going to drive profile views. And when I post, it's more likely that people like Sad are going to reply back to my post. So I'm going to get some greater levels of engagement on my post as well. Okay. And don't advertise again unless you are posting regularly on your personal profile on LinkedIn. I recommend that you post at least once a week. Ideally, I would love to see you posting once per business day. Okay. That's going to help you to reach more of your first level connections. It's going to help to support your efforts on LinkedIn, bring up visibility to you. And then I would say, if all of those things, you're doing all those things, and then you say, hey, Brenda, I want to do LinkedIn advertising for business development and lead generation, I would say have at it. I do offer some support for LinkedIn advertising. I do have somebody I know in my network. I'm going to pull his profile up on screen right now. His name is AJ Wilcox, and this is what he does for a living. He is a LinkedIn ads expert. You do have to spend a certain level. I think it's a minimum of $3,000 to $5,000 per month. And then he has a flat charge that for a retainer fee that he does for LinkedIn ads management. But the guy is brilliant. I did a 1-hour call with him, and he helped me to better understand how to manage some of my clients' ad campaigns on LinkedIn. Really phenomenal teacher there. So follow him if you're looking for tips. He always shares out free resources as well. But I would say consider LinkedIn advertising if you are having a hard time reaching your ideal target audience on LinkedIn, because it can help you, because you can really target specific job titles, industries. You can exclude your competitors on there. You can target specific geography. You can target people by level of seniority. You can target them by education, by gender. And this is the place where people are in that business mindset, okay? Facebook, it's social. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes when I've served ads on Facebook, it's kind of like I'm hanging out in my living room couch. I'm like, why are they serving me ads right now? I don't want to buy anything. I'm just hanging out and listening to my family and friends, okay? So do think about, LinkedIn advertising as another route here. All right, guys, I am going to now open this up for Q&A. So what questions do you have on LinkedIn? And I've covered my company page strategy tips now. I'm going to open the floor up to you guys. What other questions do you guys have about LinkedIn? What tips can I share with you today? So Mark asked a really good question here. And feel free to put your questions in chat. I may take you off, ask you to take yourself off of mute as we're discussing this. But Mark is saying we all have profiles here. Should we add a showcase page, or rather for our business? Mark, can you take yourself off of mute? I'm curious if, Mark, if you work for a company, like you work for a subsidiary of a company, or tell me a little bit about your situation and your background, why you're thinking about a showcase page.
I was just curious because I work with Keller Williams Lakeside, and I have a small team. So my thought process was, if someone was going to search my team, my sole team, do they just search my name? Or if they don't know who I am and they've got a branded marketing that said MI Soul Team, how can they find me a lot easier?
So this is pointing to Keller Williams Realty, and it looks like this is your parent company, right? Because this is showing 288,000 followers.
That's our head office in Texas, yeah.
Your head office. Now, can you create your own company page, or do they say you can't create it, you have to link to the corporate page?
I was going to actually search that, because I just noticed that today as we were going through our profiles.
Yeah.
I was going to search and see if we have a Keller Williams Lakeside page so that it's connected correctly to the right brokerage.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking of, is it necessary, in your opinion, to create the MI Soul Team page, because that's our team name and people do search that?
So if it were me personally, Mark, I mean, I'm guessing that you are targeting people locally here in Michigan. Correct. And Keller Williams, this is kind of like your national brand, and this is like every agent, every office throughout the country. If you have the ability to do so, I would highly recommend that you create your own company page on LinkedIn. I wouldn't recommend creating a showcase page unless they say you have to do it as a showcase page. The reason being, showcase pages can't be linked to individual profiles. I do have another client that I'm working with, UHY, and they have a division called UHY Resource Solutions Group, which is a showcase page underneath the UHY corporate page. And that was the rules that their corporate marketing department set. You can set up a page, but it can't be linked to individual profiles. So what they can do on the page is they can post, they can see who they can, manage the 533 followers, because they can start to see who's liking and commenting on it. So this keeps it specific to their division of the company, but the limitation here is they can't link it to their profile. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. Thank you.
So I would not recommend doing a showcase page based on my experience with this. We had to, because that was what they would let us do. There's some other analytics you don't get with the showcase page that you get on a company page. And what I would say is, I mean, I'm kind of an ask for forgiveness later person. Create the page and then start posting on it, and then maybe reach out to corporate and say, hey, I created a page. Let me know if I need to add somebody in from corporate in as an admin. And let them smack your hand and say, you shouldn't have done that, Mark. We wanted you to create a showcase page. But at that point, you're like, well, I already have 300 followers, so I'd really prefer not to. And they might say, oh, Mark, you know, that's fine. Keep it going, right?
Right. Thank you.
I don't know. That's just me. I didn't say
Appreciate
that. This is all on the YouTube later, but I didn't say that.
It's recorded. No
Right? It's all recorded, you know. But Brenda said, I am not a lawyer. This is not legal advice. This is just me, and these are recommendations to think about. Speaking of recommendations, recommendations for your statement under your picture to capture people's attention. So Danielle, I'm going to have you take yourself off of mute, if you don't mind, and I'm going to pull your profile up on screen here. So I think, Danielle, is what you're referring to this statement right here, educating and leading you into financial freedom?
Yep.
Okay, so what Danielle's referring to, this is called your headline field on LinkedIn. And most people, they just keep the default, which is job title at company. I highly recommend you change that up, and LinkedIn gives you 120 characters for you to describe yourself. And why this is really important is, I'm just gonna do a quick search for Danielle's here. I don't know if I can just put Danielle D if it'll come up in here, but I'm gonna click on people. And when you think about people that come up in search results on LinkedIn, the only thing we see in search results, we see your name, we see your profile photo, we see your headline field, and then there's some other stuff underneath it, but we tend to ignore that, the common connections in the greater Detroit area. So as we're scrolling down, the headline field becomes that field that is really differentiating one person from the other. So if all you have is job title at company, it's not differentiating you. So to use something in there, what I would recommend, Danielle, is think about, you know, you're really writing your headline for your ideal target audience. So think about, if you wanted to do business with me, what could you say about yourself in your headline that would compel someone, if you're seeing them in the search results, to click to go to your profile, okay? So I'm gonna click to my profile just for a second here so you can see my headline. I'm maximizing the 120 character limit, but I'm also writing my headline so that it's front-loaded, top-heavy. The very important phrase is first, and then I'm separating it with that, I think they call it the barrel symbol, the up and down, which is right above the enter key on my keyboard. I'm just putting some additional words and phrases in there. So for me, I use the I help blank with blank formula. I help people unlock the power of LinkedIn. That's what I do. Okay. Now, Danielle, what I like about yours is you're not just saying senior regional leader for Primerica. You're describing the benefits of working with you, and maybe even like how you solve the pain points, you know, educating and leading you into financial freedom. My recommendation for you, Danielle, would be, you've got 120 characters. I would add a couple of additional keywords in there and think about, if people are looking for your services, what those keywords might be. You know, for me, it might be LinkedIn strategy, for example, and then I might look and see what are the other keywords that people are using when I look at search results in there, and that might give me some inspiration. Does that help you out a little bit, Danielle?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome. All right, and then how are we on time here today? Keith, are you still there? Did you finish your lunch? Are you refilling your beverage? What's happening right now? I think we're at a 1 o'clock stop, right, Keith? Keith has left.
No, I'm here.
Keith has left the building. Oh, Keith is here. Is it 1 o'clock we're supposed to end here today?
Yeah, 1:15, whatever.
Okay.
Time allows.
I'm flexible. All right, guys. So what other questions do you have? Bradley, you asked questions about Sales Navigator. Do you have a specific question about Sales Navigator? I can try to answer for you. You want to take yourself off of mute, Bradley?
Yeah, I don't know much about it. I just, I know some people that have dabbled in it, and they just kind of said how powerful and amazing it is, but I know nothing other than that about it.
Yeah, yeah. So what I will say, like I said, so far is I'm still learning my way through it. Sales Navigator, it exists in a different instance of LinkedIn. So when I go into Sales Navigator, it takes me out, and you kind of set up filters for people. So when you first get set up in Sales Navigator, they say, who are the people that you're targeting? job title, geography, company, industry, and you fill in a bunch of stuff. And then they start to filter, okay, Hewlett Packard matches my criteria, Bosch matches my criteria. And then I can also start to add in specific people. So let's say I'm talking to Keith Stonehouse, and I feel like, gosh, Keith is eventually going to be a prospect. He's going to want to book me for LinkedIn strategy services. So I can save Keith into and I've created a list called future prospects. And the cool thing about Sales Navigator is when you think about LinkedIn, your homepage feed, LinkedIn is just showing you a bunch of stuff. It's showing you companies you're following. It's showing you ads. It's showing you people that you interact with that they think you have a high likelihood of interacting with on a regular basis. But there's a lot of clutter in there. What I like about Sales Navigator is it's showing me activity from people that I have selected to see. So it's reducing a lot of the clutter, and I can just see their activity in the homepage feed. So, and I've even put some of my competitors in here so I can see what my competitors are posting, and I can do that kind of at a quick glance. I also have people that are in my my current client list or my prospective clients. I have a couple different lists. One of them I have, let's see if I can put in here my lead list. I have future prospects, current clients, prospects, proposals sent. I'm waiting to hear back from them. I have some competitors, LinkedIn strategists, proposal sent. I get the lukewarm, we'll let you know. So I just kind of monitor those people over time. Okay.
And just another question. Thank you for that. As far as, is there certain levels of Sales Navigator? Because I know with LinkedIn, there's gold and whatever else.
Yeah.
And I have no idea like the cost of it. Obviously, I'm sure it's a monthly thing.
So really good question. And I do want to address, LinkedIn, everybody can use the free version of LinkedIn. Everything I have shown you here today is using, except obviously we're in Sales Navigator right now, but all the stuff about the company page tips, your personal profile, sending invitations, messaging, setting up your company page analytics, that is using the basic free version of LinkedIn. Okay, basic and free. Basic does not mean it's a bad version of LinkedIn. It just means you're not paying for it. LinkedIn Premium means you are paying for it. Premium does not mean it is better. Premium means you are paying for additional features. So, I've even heard you say just now, LinkedIn Gold. It's like the American Express Platinum card. You feel like you're getting better levels. You're paying more. You're getting additional features for it. So keep in mind, don't pay for something if you don't know the value that you're getting out of it. I hate to see people wasting money. Sales Navigator and Premium are both similar in that it's kind of a volume play. So right now, I have opted to do a free month of Sales Navigator, and you can get a free month trial before deciding whether or not to upgrade. And you can do that for Premium or you can do that for Sales Navigator. So do not pay the first time you are using these things. What I would recommend is you can reach out to LinkedIn Help and say, I got a message about getting a free trial of Sales Navigator. How do I get that set up? And they will send you the link to get your free 1-month trial. You do have to put a credit card on file. If you don't cancel by day 30, they will bill you. The individual rate for LinkedIn Premium is $59.99 per month. That's what I was paying. If I paid in advance for the full year, then I would get a discount at a monthly rate, but they bill me all at once. Same thing with Sales Navigator. You can bill the entire year all at once, and it reduces the monthly cost, but you do pay for that all at once. In addition, you can buy a package of Sales Navigator licenses for your company, and that does reduce both the per person per monthly cost. But again, you're shelling out a big chunk of cash to get that all at once. Does that help?
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay, good. Again, I don't work for LinkedIn. I make no money on sending them any business, but my important thing here is I don't like to see people wasting money. So don't pay to upgrade unless you need those features. All right. So I think I'm going to stop the screen share. Let me see how I stop the share here. Oops, I don't want to do that. Cancel. I'm going to stop the share here. Okay. And just, I think that's kind of it for today, guys. I did record the full session here. I'll push this up on YouTube a little bit later. I'm actually going to stop the recording right now. Thank you for watching.